Hey guys, so taking another walk, which means it's time to continue with the Agent I story. Continuing with Chapter 2, the first case. As Vincent Craig was transformed into Agent I, getting new cybernetic implants for his eyes, and the really cool battle helmet with the red center eye, capable of doing all sorts of different things. Zoom in and out vision, night vision, X-ray vision, and thanks to record mode and the Peter 9000 AI assisting him, he can even slow down things that are coming to him, or rather see things in a faster time frame, which makes everything appear slower to him, which, after about a month of getting used to that, this actually turned Vincent Craig, I guess you could now say Agent I, into an official fighter as well. Like, now that he can see punches and kicks coming and slow them right down, this made him look like an expertly skilled martial artist, even though he really isn't. And, well, needless to say, he had become quite the formidable force in his own right. And the one thing that kept him focused throughout all this training is his desire to get his revenge on the man that put him in that helmet, who made him this cybernetic freak with the burnt face. Yes. Vincent Craig may be Agent I and may be more powerful than ever, but it did come at a hefty price. But nothing would change Vincent Craig more than what he deals with in his very first assignment. Now, of course, when breaking in an experimental project, which now Vincent Craig, let's face it, he was, it was best to start him off with something small. So, they send him after a crime syndicate. Just a crime syndicate that has taken over a city. And, well, with all these new features, most of them becoming very handy for detective work, X-ray mode, night vision, thermal vision, infrared, all that became very handy for detective work. And with an intimidating presence like the one he commanded, let's just say your city criminal lowlifes were very quickly to spill when he came approaching. And Vincent Craig took this on pretty much the way he took everything on from this point in his career, like he was in a really bad mood. Eventually, one of them would spill where the deckhand crime syndicate would meet up. Yep, it turned out that the crime syndicate was none other than deckhand themselves, the very organization that Grade was facing before, with Benson at his side. And oh yes, he was looking for some serious payback, and also hopefully to try and get some information on why Benson turned traitor the way he did. But alas, no one was really saying anything as he began beating down the ranks of the Deckhand Crime Syndicate. Now meanwhile, the Deckhand had quite a young rising star of a criminal known as Nick Harkey. He was he used to be a high school teacher. Used to teach kids right from wrong and was a productive member of society before he went criminal. Unfortunately, with one day, a gang decided to corner him and attack him, and nearly beat the professor to death when he pulled a gun on him and fired back at the gang, hitting one of them. One of them turning out to be one of his students. And well, being a teacher, if you don't get fired for that, what do you get fired for? Self-defense or not, he was fired. His career ruined, destroyed, and essentially no one was in a hurry to hire a teacher who shot and killed a student. So the only way he could make money and support his wife from this point on was he turned to crime. And who better to give him his big chance at a criminal career than the Deckhand Crime Organization? And what he did was simple. Make drops, collect the money. You didn't collect the money, if you didn't have the money, you either got a hand broken, repeat offenders, of course, got the occasional bullet in the head. And he was quite good at his job. Turns out he was quite good at the whole making drops and delivering. However, eventually then the Deckhand Crime Syndicate began seeing him as a threat. Yes, he began to develop a reputation in his own right, and well, for a crime unit like Deckhand, who rewards their most trusted lieutenants by giving them code names based on playing cards, it wasn't good seeing this upstart doing better than they were. So essentially, the crime boss, who was just simply known as the Deck, decided it was time to do away with him. And, well, nothing better work than, luring him to a warehouse and, essentially not only tried to murder him, but his wife as well. His wife, unfortunately, didn't make it, and as they were trying to shoot him, they caused an explosion, and Nick Harkey was hit directly with ammonia gas. the ammonia gas and whatever other chemicals were in it caused a poisoning and damaging effect on the man. He was now dying. His wife was gone. Any other career aspects were gone. In fact, his life was slowly slipping away. Henceforth, the official title of the comic this part of the story is based off, The Life Addiction. Well, Nick Harkey then became the Addict. And he would spend the remainder of his days plotting a terrible revenge against Deckhand. He would start with the very men who helped murder his wife, tracking them down to a bar, and well, he shared with them some very special cigars that he has on his person, ones that he's touched. As they smoked them, they became fatally poisoned with the same poison that's affecting Nick, aka the Addict, and they're dying right in front of them. And of course, for good measure, he blows up the bar as well. What is your greatest addiction? Is it the drugs you take, the alcohol you drink, or the very air you breathe? Is it life itself? Yes, the Addict had definitely lost the plot and has become more or less insane in his own right. Meanwhile, Agent I was still hunting for the deck as well. And so, essentially, the deck had to deal with two threats to his organization, Agent I and the Addict. There was an attempt to destroy Agent I by having an informant telling them they were at the docks and having a warehouse blow up in front of him trying to take him out. Did not work. But eventually, Agent I became curious about the Addict when eventually he would find surveillance footage of the Addict and all his shenanigans as he was killing deckhand criminals one by one, always asking the same sick, sadistic question: what's your greatest addiction? And he would save his best game for the deck, as eventually, as the deck was running from Agent I, as Agent I would eventually confront the deck, who had no interest in answering his question, would rather jump out the window than talk to him. Unfortunately, to have the Addict right there waiting for him, he's kidnapped along with his family, and, well, he planned to make him feel the exact same pain that he had lost, what he had taken from him. It's kind of like an addiction, isn't it? Tell me, what's the stronger addiction, your family or your organization? When you think about it, life is one great big addiction. You go through it, everything's all hunky-dory, then suddenly something happens that changes everything, and all you want is things to go back to normal, but you know it can't. You tell me, how is that not an addiction? And well, luckily for the deck, Agent I had easily tracked them easily enough, and with a bit of a fist fight with the addict, the addict's plan was basically stopped, and the deck tried to run off without his family, but he gets surrounded by fate and is taken away. The deckhand crime syndicate is taken down, leaving Agent I to have a bit of a discussion with the addict, stating that, he might not have much time, but with his statement, his testimony in court, they can put the deck away forever. But ultimately, the addict thinks it's just too late for any of that, and that there's a chance he won't even make it that long. And well, Agent I begins to realize what could have happened to him if you let vengeance consume him all the time. If you let the thought of catching Benson consume him. So now it's more or less, he'll get Benson when he gets Benson. No need to rush. And well, he understands that Nick is simply just another victim in this. And essentially, he decides to give the addict the way out he wants, as he leaves the addict his sidearm and walks away. As he walks away, the only thing seen and heard was a loud bang and the muzzle flash from Agent I's gun, putting an end to this case. A case that forever changed Agent I, made him realize to truly stop bad guys, criminals like that. It's all well, justice. It's not about your own personal satisfaction. And that is where this chapter ends. So, hope you're enjoying these little walk-along story times. I'll definitely have us back for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys again next time.